This is the Aftermarket Radio Network.
Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Auto Repair Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Walker, and my co-host today is Kim. We're back in the studio. Let the domestics begin.
It already has begun, everybody. It's just edited out.
But today we're going to be talking about the topic of staying humble while providing community involvement. And this was
promoting community
involvement.
That you provided community.
And this is a topic that was suggested by Doug DeLuca. Mm-hmm. And
we need to just bring him on as a co-host because I love that he regularly sends us ideas.
Yep. And you can send us ideas too. Podcast
singular
at shopmarketingpros.com. So if you have something that you want us to cover, send it our way.
Get it together, Walker.
I'm trying. But hey, let me thank our sponsors. Thank you to our friends at RepairPal for providing this episode. RepairPal is the key that unlocks more business for your auto repair shop. Learn more at repairpal.com/shops. And want to revolutionize your marketing? AppFueled does it all. Email, text, app notifications, and even call center integration. Stop guessing and start connecting with AppFueled. All right, Kim.
Are you ready?
Maybe.
Y'all, I don't know what is up with this man today, but we're going to try to get it together.
Technical issue after technical issue. And I have braces now, okay?
What does that have to do with
anything? I hear like this, like I don't feel like I'm talking right. And I'm probably the only one who can hear it. But
yeah, I hear nothing, and he's had these braces on for a month.
Yeah, but for a month now, I feel like I can't talk right.
Okay, that's totally in your head. If there was a problem, Carm or Tracy would have said, Brian, we got to figure the braces things out. So
you have to rip the braces off for you to do the podcast.
Actually, we used to be here in our studio, but I don't know, a couple months ago, we switched over to recording it differently, which made editing.
It's probably been a year.
Has it been a year?
Yeah.
Anyway,
we do this every once in a while
at our own desks, which just the process was more efficient, I think. Mm-hmm. So it does change things when we are here physically together. Y'all probably like it better. I forget where we were recently.
We were just at Elite at the Ignite event, and Joe Marconi was laughing about our domestics.
That's right. Yeah.
So, well, anyway, this is for you, Joe. We're going to bring you the domestics today.
Sure. All right. So look, here's the thing. Doug reached out with this proposal of a topic that honestly we've talked about, not on the podcast, I don't think, but in person with different people. And then as we run social media, manage social for people, it's come up. And then locally, so before we had Shop Marketing Pros, when we were Five Stones Media, a really good friend of mine who's well known in our local community, I had this conversation with her because I would learn from other people, or I would be at an event and I would see that she sponsored it or she donated something, and I would text her because she's a very close friend of mine, and I'm like, you know who I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm. And I would text her and I would say, girlfriend, why haven't you sent me this so that I can post this on social for you? It's fantastic. Oh no, I don't want everybody to know everything that I'm doing. And she was so afraid to share because she thought it was going to look like she was bragging or just trying to promote herself. And I'm like, that is what I'm here for. I know how to do this without making you sound like you're bragging or that you're just trying to be a show off. That was her big concern. So
yeah, and I've heard that from multiple people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, how people like to say, I hear this all the time. I don't hear it all the time. But over the years, I bet you I bet you 5 or 6 people have asked me about this topic. And it's a great thing to cover because the community involvement, it's an amazing thing for you to do in your business. And it should serve to promote your business, but you don't want to
there's a right way to do it. And you probably haven't heard it as much as I have because you tend to live in the SEO website kind of world. And I've always lived more in the social media, sometimes the ads sort of world. And so when I'm teaching classes, it was very often a question in a social media class. So I want to start off by, did I just sound like cornbread? I feel like I just sounded like cornbread.
Well, you are cornbread.
Not Jiffy though, homemade.
Yeah.
Just making it very, very clear. Anyways, I want to start off with the definition. So I literally went and looked it up. Humble means to have or show a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. So in other words, it's not being boastful or bragging. And I think that it's important to point out that there's a fine line, a sweet spot, a soft spot, whatever you want to call it, between successful and selfish self-promotion. Mm-hmm. Why are you got a funny grin on your face?
I'm just looking at you. That's it.
You look like you're smiling like you're trying to say something.
It's probably the braces.
It's probably the braces. All right. Successful or selfish self-promotion. Do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Back when I worked at the dealership, there was this girl who worked in the service department, and she was that kind of buxom blonde, and she would always wear her low-cut shirt and her high-cut skirt to work, and she would go walking through the middle of the shop, and she garnered the name "Look at Me." That's what the text would call her.
Yeah, I did not know where he was going.
They would say, "Hey, here comes Look at Me."
Huh. Well, did she know this?
I don't know that she knew it, but the text definitely knew it. And I mean, it was so, like, when she would come walking through the shop, it was so obvious that, I mean, like, she's clacking her heels on the floor, to make sure that everybody turned to look at her when she was walking through the shop. And that's what this episode is about, is not being that look at me person.
I'm so glad you pulled that together because I had no idea where you were going with that. And that definitely makes sense. So one thing I didn't include in my notes when I was kind of brain dumping about this topic is, and I want to say it as we start out, is that it's important that you're not promoting what you're doing in the community all the time, right? There should be this ebb and flow, something that feels natural. So not everything, and I don't think that y'all would do this anyway, but space this stuff out, right? Let it be timed appropriately. We used to talk, I honestly don't even know what the percentages are, but we used to say 50, 30, 20, like 50% of what you post is more lighthearted and educational, and that's the 30%, and then 20% is promotional. So conversational. This needs to fall in there where it's not something that you're saying all the time. And for me, and I think Brian is the same way, even here in our business, we start the day off with gratitude. So I think if you can, it's all about how you position your community involvement and what you're saying. So, and this is mostly a social media sort of thing, but I think that if you start with gratitude, if you're talking about what you're grateful for, like maybe that it gave you the opportunity to meet other people, or it gives you the opportunity to get out of your business and do something in the community, support an organization that's doing some good. It could be that it's even something you're doing with your team and how it makes your team feel. Mm-hmm. So think about the gratitude part of it, right? And maybe let that be the focus of the message that you're putting out. And then another tip is to start with why. I say that all the time, but the book is just fabulous. Simon Sinek, Start With Why. I think that if you can position your post or your conversation or how you're sharing that you've been involved in your community, if you position it with your why are you doing it? What gets you out of the bed every day? Why are you going to work? Why are you involved in this organization? Why are you donating? And if you can bring it back to that, or your purpose, what drives you, I think that really makes a difference in how you create that post and what you're saying in that message. So just today, actually, this morning, because we do this as well, we support a variety of organizations. There's only one that we really talk about, though. I don't know why we don't share about the others.
Well, like Commission Mankind.
Like Commission Mankind options.
Yeah.
There are several.
Well, I think what happens is because of us being in the industry, we tend to talk about the ones that the people in the industry would be more interested in or in our head, like if we're doing a sponsorship for one of the big events or something, we always talk about that.
Yep.
But, we have these other ones that we do, and we'll share about like our daily bread thing that we do. Like this morning with that, there's an organization locally called Our Daily Bread, and it's a food bank. And it's an amazing organization. We live in a parish in Louisiana that is a lower income parish. And there are, I guess just like everywhere really though, there are a lot of people here who are in need. Like their finances would not get them through the end of the month, like would not provide enough food for them. And this food bank, the amount of food that they put into this community, it's just amazing.
Yep.
And there is there's a low income housing,
it's for elderly and
complex.
disabled individuals.
Yeah. And we go there and we deliver their food boxes to them. So Our Daily Bread brings the truck over that has all the boxes with the food in it. And then our team, along with the team from another local business, UMS Water, we get together and we deliver those boxes of food to the people in that community, housing. Yeah. And for me, I love when we promote it. And the reason that I want people to see it in our industry is that I am big on we eat our own dog food, okay? If we are telling you to do something in your business, we don't not do that in our business. And I can't stand it because I see other marketing companies that never market themselves. And it drives me nuts. It's like, do you actually believe in the service that you do? Well, for me, it's important that we believe in the service that we do. Anything that we would do for an auto repair shop, marketing tactic or strategy wise. Now, there's some little differences because y'all are brick and mortar, whereas we are more of an internet-based nationwide business, whereas you're serving a small community. So there could be things that we might do for you that wouldn't necessarily make sense for you, but the big things, we're going to have a great website. We're going to do, we're going to do SEO and Google ads and all that. I'm not going to do local service ads for our business because it doesn't apply to our business. But my point is we do the things that we sell because we believe in it. But also, if we're telling you that this is something that you should do in your business, that you should do community involvement, you can bet that we are going to be involved in our community. Yeah. So, that's the reason that I want to promote it. But you're right. I've never really thought about the fact that, we also, do, stuff with Commission Mankind and options and all of that. So we should be promoting that.
So I want to give y'all some examples and tell you can go to our Facebook or Instagram, but on Facebook you can search our posts. So if you go to our Facebook page and you click on search, type in Our Daily Bread. We've got quite a few posts on there. So, and we do this once a month, but just to give you an example of the messaging, because we've done it a variety of different ways. So back in November, our team put together a little video reel and they're talking about gratitude. So starting November, hearts are full of gratitude. Each month for our SHIELD, which is the acronym for our core values: synergy, happiness, integrity, expansion, leadership, and dedication. So it says each month for our SHIELD in Action Day, the pros team up with our Daily Bread food bank to spread, and you just have to click more and keep reading. But it's a fun little video reel with our team. There's another post back in August where we were hiring, and we included our community service or our community involvement as one of the perks of working on our team. There are lots of young people today, and not just young people, there are lots of people who want to go work for a place that gives back. And so including it in your job post, which is something we did back in August. And then just here's another one, again, referencing our shield, our core values. So maybe you can relate your community involvement, your community service back to one of your core values. For us, this one back in December says our last shield in action of 2024 is in the books. Partnering with our daily bread to deliver grocery boxes is just one of the ways we live out our core values and connect with our community. Small acts create big impacts, and we're grateful for the opportunity to give back. Here's to continuing this tradition in 2025. We have been doing this, I don't even know how many years now. Mm-hmm. And I'm regularly thinking, is the team, do they enjoy this? Are they happy? Does it still matter? Is it still impacting? And every now and then I'll reach out and I'm like, hey, everybody, are y'all still on board with this? And our team loves it. So, I mean,
they know the people by name that they're delivering to.
Oh my gosh.
And those people, some of the people there, they don't, nobody comes to visit them.
Right.
So they can't wait until, our team or the team from UMS is knocking on their door. There's one of the ladies from UMS that she is connected, unhealthily connected to a lot of these people.
Well, next month, February, there are a couple of these residents who will make little Valentine's bags and give them to us. And they hug us and they pray with us and they thank us. So it's just really awesome. So I wanted to just tell you, we're in the same boat that you are, right? We want to be intentional about the messages that we're putting out and really share how we're connecting in our community and not come off in some braggadocious sort of way. So one of the examples that I just gave you and how we posted was right along with this next tip or whatever you want to call it that I'm going to give you, and that is to take the spotlight off of yourself in the way that you highlight the work that you do. Point to the organization's mission and how you love supporting them. So it's a story that we're unpacking, that we're telling, and, highlighting. Now, we can't highlight the individuals because of privacy, but depending on the organization that you're supporting, this could be Rotary. Our best friend, Joe Meir, talk about Joe and, how he shares all of the things that he's doing. He's probably one of the most humble guys there is. It's your best friend.
Well, he's sharing this stuff not because he wants you to know that he's doing it, and that's legitimate. Okay, all right. Let's just be real for a second. We're business people. When we do community involvement, there is part of us that expects it to come back to us in a way, and we don't want to talk about that side of it, because that's not the primary reason that we're doing it. But I can tell you with 100% certainty that when Joe goes out and talks about this stuff, he is not talking about it because he wants it to come back to him in any way. He is talking about it because he wants you to get involved also. Mm-hmm. He wants you to see what this other organization is doing. It's just there have been quite a few times that we will hear about some GoFundMe or something for someone in the industry.
Yes.
And sometimes we share about that, sometimes we don't. But in those cases, if we're sharing about that, the primary reason that we're sharing about it is to get more people to go donate to that GoFundMe. And
about that, I'll donate to it. Personally, I never go say, oh, look, we donated $100, $500, $1,000. Instead, what I do is I share the GoFundMe and say, hey, please join us in the effort to help this family or whatever. Instead of saying, oh, look, we donated, we're just helping to share it.
But we look for things like that are aligned with our industry too. We don't go around. Look, there's times where we'll see a GoFundMe and it's like, God is just telling us, hey, you need to do, I want you to do something with that. Yeah. And we will. But when it is something that is impacting our industry, then, we look at it a little bit different. It's okay, we want to give back to our industry. Mm-hmm. This industry gives so much to us. We want to give back to our industry.
And our local community, that it's where we live. Yeah. It's not industry specific. We used to have a business that served our local community. well, now this business doesn't have clients in this local community, but we still support it in a very big but silent way.
Yeah. But I have seen people before that, like, they throw something out there and it's an obvious look at me post. Mm-hmm. And it's a turnoff when they do. So sure. It is something that you should be thinking about. And the people who, when they have their community involvement and they don't want to share about that, I understand why. I respect that. But you're actually doing the organization or the person that you're serving a disservice by not putting it out there so that more people can learn about the cause. So you can do it in a way that it is not bragging and it helps that person out, and it can actually help you out some too.
Yeah, that was a really good point. You're really doing them a disservice by not sharing, and it's all in the way that you share it. So, one of the, it's how you're unpacking that story. And I just thought of something really important that I wanted to say, and I totally lost it. So I hope that it comes back.
It'll come back.
But, never forget that you can align it, like I said earlier, with your company's core values, your company culture, how you're serving together, how it builds a bond with your team. You could even getting your team members to do a quick little video about why are you, so it's not about you, it's about your team. Why are you serving? Because like this morning, there were 4 of our team members locally who went and participated in this today. They didn't have to. We don't force our team members to do this. I always ask several days ahead, hey, locals who, because we have team members all over the place. So I reach out to the local team members and I say, hey, who's going to be able to go on Monday and serve at Shield in Action? And it's a handful of the same core ones, but they love it. And you can totally get a video testimonial from them. And so now it's taking it off of you individually.
Now, I will say, because inevitably there's somebody who is wondering how they should handle this with their team, we do pay our team. Like, they're on the clock when they are doing this. And, to me, that just goes back to, like, if you know any of our story, when we first started this agency, back before it was Shop Marketing Pros, when it was Five Stones Media, which is still legally is Five Stones Media, but when we were an early agency, I worked for Walmart Distribution Center, and Walmart they will pay their employees. They will give them a certain number of paid days to go out and serve in the community. And I just believe that, as a business, especially you as a local business, your income comes from your community, and you can give back to your community. And if you've got, team members who want to go get involved in the community, make it easy for them. Yeah. Give them paid time off to go serve in that capacity.
Yeah, for sure. All right, it came back to me. And that is, if you're doing your own marketing, then you're 100% in control of what and how you're saying it. Very often, when you have someone doing your marketing for you and you take a picture at this event where you participated, maybe you don't send it because you just, or you send it and then they put together a post and it's just not coming off the way that you want it to. You need to educate your marketing team. Whoever's doing your marketing for you, send them a video, send them a picture of you at this event or how you contributed, but tell them, I want you to come at this. The angle is gratitude. The angle is our company culture. The angle is this connected to our core values in this way. Or the angle is, I want you to focus on this organization and their mission and what they're doing in our community, and include a link to donate or include a link for them to go volunteer. So you are the one who is responsible for educating your marketing team on how you want these community involvement promotional posts to come off. So don't forget about that. I didn't think about that earlier. Yeah. And I just referenced, one thing that you can do is when you're creating these posts or your team is creating these posts is to include a link. Hey, learn more about our daily bread. Learn more about how you and your team can get involved. And, like Brian said earlier, using it as an opportunity to highlight the organization and help them out, bringing people to their organization.
Yeah. And if you do something, like what we've done where we've teamed up with another group, because the thing is, as we grew to the point where we started hiring outside of our local area, like after COVID, when we were no longer working in an office and we could start hiring people remotely, we didn't have enough people all the time to go serve. So, Kim reached out to this other organization in the community and said, hey, would you like to team up with us? And
they jumped at it, said yes, and we've been doing it together for years now.
Yeah. So it also gives you the opportunity to work with another business in your community and promote them a little bit.
Yeah.
To say great things about them, because you don't mind telling other people, oh, look what UMS Water did.
Right. That's right.
And they don't mind saying that about us, but you don't necessarily want to say it about yourselves. Yeah. So, teaming up with that other organization gives you some help. So that you don't have to, like in our case, we don't want to take our entire team out of the office that morning.
Yeah.
Our entire local team anyway. But now just a few people from our team and a few people from their team go, and then they can switch up. Different people can go the next month. So, that's a great way to do it. And that's just an example of this one thing, because I guess you're only going to have so many community involvement things that are going to be like that. Your community involvement might be that you sponsor the local Little League team. And in that case, you're really doing nothing but financially supporting them. But what you do is you celebrate their wins.
That's right.
They go out there, they have a good tournament. You talk about, hey, here's this team that we sponsor. Look how great they did, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You're making it all about them and really not about you at all.
Yep. And it's easy for you to reach out and say, hey, y'all send me some pictures from your recent game. Or, if you happen to be at the game and you grab some pictures, there's some of them have their own Facebook or Instagram accounts and you share what they've put out there. There's plenty of ways to do that.
Yeah. So you have your local Boy Scout or Girl Scouts troop come in and you host a merit badge clinic. It's not, look at us, we did a merit badge clinic. It is,
look at these kids and what they've learned.
Yep, look at these kids, what they've learned. We love our industry and we want to see more people get involved in the industry. So, we're teaching kids about it early and like just things like that.
Yep. So we keep talking about how it's how you unpack the story. It's how you tell the story. Another thing is wanting to, because it's easy to promote when you're at an event or, like our daily bread thing where we're actually doing something, but the financial part, like you were just talking about, when you're just the financial supporter, whether it's a GoFundMe or I know in a couple of my classes, I have examples of shops who use the big, huge check and they're giving a donation. We did this before in the month of February when we had our shop where we donated to the American Heart Association. And there was a tie to it. I don't remember exactly what it was at the time. But again, going back to your why, are you donating to some cancer foundation or cancer fund? Why? Is it because a family member had breast cancer? Is it somebody that worked for you or someone you cared for? Like, tell that story. Don't leave out the connection between what made you choose that foundation or what made you choose that organization. Something triggered it. It wasn't just this cancer foundation showed up at your shop and said, would you donate? And you said, yes. Something caused you to pick that organization. So make that part of the story. Don't leave that part out.
Yeah. Just an example of that, and then we'll end this, right afterwards. But that other organization that Kim was talking about that we support is Commission Mankind. And, I went to Haiti on a mission trip and watched these kids, little kids, like 6, 7, 8 years old. And we were in a mountainous part of Haiti, and they would go down to the river every day and get like 5-gallon containers of water.
No shoes,
nothing. But these containers weighed as much as these kids did.
Yeah.
And
on their head. They're carrying them on their head.
They would have it on their head, on their shoulder. Like I mean, the way that they carried them, for one, the strength that it took for a child of that size to carry it.
And not on a flat Louisiana road either.
And they were just smiling, biggest grateful smiles. And, you know, they were doing something that would have most Americans in tears, and they were just having the best day.
And they're going down to the river getting dirty water.
Yeah.
And grateful for it. But now Commission Mankind is digging water wells, giving people fresh water.
Yeah. So, you know, that would be the story behind that. And by the way, you could, you know, I know you've never heard me say this, but you could do a video about it.
Yeah.
You know, to tell people why it is that you're passionate about it.
Never heard you say that before.
Yeah. Anyway.
But I just want to give one last idea, and that is the other organization that we support, just giving you an example of how you tell the story, right? How you connect it. And again, we don't ever talk about this one, but my brother is disabled. He was hit by a car when he was 10 years old, pronounced dead on the scene. I was 12. It was a very long, very big traumatic thing. And he is high functioning, drives a car, works at the local grocery store. But there is an organization locally that helps people with disabilities live and work in their community, and it's called Options. And we support Options financially on a monthly basis, and because they just help him in so many big ways. And also Louisiana Special Olympics, he's part of that. So it's that connection. Like, why do we support this organization? It's because of what they do for my brother, right? So I hope that this helped y'all maybe think a different way about how you share your story about community involvement and what that looks like, or maybe give you some different ideas or different angles in how you can put that out there without bragging and remaining humble and just doing it in a different kind of way. So thanks, Doug, for the idea. I also want to encourage y'all, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, it is there, rocking and rolling, the Auto Repair Marketing Mastermind. Go find that group on Facebook, join it. And something we never really ask y'all to do is to give us a review, right? Leave a review for the podcast on whatever listening app you are using. We would really appreciate it. You know, you love reviews for your shop. We love reviews for our podcast. So,
and we don't necessarily know who those reviews come from, because the usernames, you know, with those accounts aren't typically your name. So if you leave us a review, you know, message us or something and just let us know so that we know it was you, because we really do appreciate that. Thank y'all for listening. We are just one of a handful of podcasts on the Aftermarket Radio Network. You can find the others at aftermarketradionetwork.com. Thank you again to RepairPal and AppFueled for sponsoring us. I hope that you'll listen in again next week. And until then, go fill those bays.